you? This is going to be a special edition for the holiday of Simply Stay with me, Deborah K. And I'm here at home today doing a little broadcasting live just as a special edition. We'll see how it goes. I'm like trying to play music in the background, so hopefully, I'll be able to sit and sort of talk with you for a little bit. This will be episode 7 in the current series of Simply Stated. And just kind of enjoying the holiday. I hope you all are as well if you actually celebrate Christmas. If not, I hope that you're still enjoying the holiday season here in the US or wherever you are in the world. It may not be the holidays where you're living. So I know Australia has Christmas in a completely different time of year from us, as far as I know. Or is it that they have summer right now and have Christmas in the middle of their summer? I think they have Christmas right now and it's actually summer for them. So anyway, so wherever you are in the world celebrating the holiday, if you do, I hope you're enjoying it. And for those of you who celebrate Hanukkah or the winter solstice, I hope it is a fantastic, day for you as well. So I'm doing this as part of the holiday season. It's like one of many projects I do. I have a regular job as well, so such is life. So for today's show, though, since we're coming up on the end of the year, I actually want to address a previous episode from the last season of Simply Stayed, which is I talked about the singer Post Malone, who was bizarrely signed at CAA over the summer. I was kind of disappointed to see that. He's represented by Cheryl Pagliarani at CAA now, because she went over there with him. And there was an episode of Dr. Phil that featured a family, and specifically a grandmother who was being, it turned out that she was being defrauded out of money and a victim of extortion, but the way it was presented on the show was like that her family just thought she was crazy and weird, and that she thought she had a relationship with Post Malone. And I was disturbed by it. They called the grandmother Gail, Gail. And so I think there's been like 2 different episodes on this, but they've never really followed up on what happened with Post Malone. Here's the thing: I worked in home health for 5 years, and I worked extensively also in doing investigations as well, and had a security clearance. And I took care of people who actually retired from the U.S. Pentagon, the U.S. Navy, like a former admiral's wife who had also worked in the Pentagon. I took care of somebody who worked at the IRS and geospatial agency. There was just constant security threats and issues. And one of the issues we dealt with very regularly was that people over the age of 60 in the U.S. are constantly prey to phone calls from predators and fundraising schemes. And it's important to remember that for me, I saw the episode immediately. I thought, well, why isn't anybody doing an investigation of Post Malone or his fundraising? Because I wouldn't assume that the grandmother was just some crazy person who thought she was talking to Post Malone and wasn't. Or more importantly, why didn't anybody stop and think that maybe somebody on his actual fundraising, like management business team, was literally like calling them up and, like demanding money from them, trying to pretend they were fans and like sending them weird fake rings and acting like they were stupid? And how do we even know this woman wasn't being threatened? Because she was an attractive older woman. Like, I had a number of patients that were attractive older women that, we knew on the staff that they had been assaulted or attacked. We knew that people were taking advantage of them and trying to steal their money or were stealing their money. We had to work with the police and APS to try and help them and protect them. I had problems with people actually coming to some of these elderly people's homes with narcotic disorders and trying to attack them because of the positions they had once held. So, and then that's for people who had high status, high profile jobs. That doesn't even get into the common problems for anybody in the US who has money that's older. Post Malone doesn't have a good history. He's somebody that came into the scene, of the entertainment scene, through Buffalo Bill that I detailed in other previous episodes. And he's somebody that, I would seriously be looking at asking the IRS, does the U.S. military have information, the World Bank, other financial institutions on him? Because he's a thug and a criminal, and he's a mid-level one, but he's somebody who needs to raise money for his concerts and appearances. It costs a lot of money to go to the Grammys. The Grammys decided that they didn't care about anyone as far as quality or actually being able to perform or sing or dance. They stopped caring. They only cared if you could pay the entry fees to show up there. And it's actually not a safe place for most people to attend. If you're a polite, well-behaved person, you just don't want to be at the Grammys, the Academy Awards, the Emmys, or Golden Globes. They're just not safe. So, and a lot of this circles back to the fact that the entertainment industry, Hollywood at least, at least back in the 80s, 70s, maybe starting back in the 60s, switched to a model of the agents and managers wanting to be paid up front for the work as opposed opposed to the old model making money, which was that they would get a cut. And so they had to be motivated to work to sell their clients, and they had to get clients who actually had talent and ability. It has switched to a model, at least when you look at like agencies like Deborah and me, where they're simply taking people because they have money to pay them up front, and the more the better. And of course, as you know, I was trafficked for decades. My material was used for people that had literally no ability to sing, dance, come up with ideas, nothing. They couldn't write a song, couldn't sing a song, couldn't dance, couldn't act, couldn't come up with a script, none of it. And so a horrible trafficking situation for me. But it was kind of a disturbing episode of Dr. Phil because there was a daughter supposedly involved, a granddaughter, who immediately called her mother mentally ill and thought she was stupid for thinking she was talking to Post Malone. And I immediately thought, well, is this supposed daughter like a fan of Post Malone, or does she work for Post Malone? Like, does she work for his management team? Like, what is she that she's so mean to an older person who may have dementia or narcotic disorders, or is just scared and being taken advantage of and having money taken from her? So it's just a really, and there's never been any resolution to it. I did see that Post Malone was almost arrested a few days ago. That was all over the internet. He's had a number of situations that were actually warrants out for him, and he's been arrested for felonies, not misdemeanors, for having felonies, multiple ones. Nothing has been resolved, and I don't know at what point does this all tie back around to some of the stuff with P. Diddy and some of these other situations that are currently in the news. So, and there was really a nonprofit involved that she was asked to give money to. What is the nonprofit? What is their tax status? What country are their filings in? Do they have any? Do they have a legal status? These are all really good questions to ask that I just didn't see addressed on the episodes of Dr. Phil. And so, coming into the year, it's like I really would have liked to have seen him do a resolution episode and actually go in the direction that I'm thinking of, because that's where the real issues are today. There really needs to be a general, what used to be called in the 80s a crackdown on Hollywood so-called entertainers and their fundraising methods. That actually needs to happen. And it's sad because there are talented performers out there, but since they've turned to, especially over in WWE, like all the photoshopping, photoshopping is not airbrushing. It's not removable pimple. It's like full-on CGI effects. You're seeing literally a completely computer-generated image in front of you instead of an actual person. Like, so this is not Photoshop. This isn't even airbrush. This is just me. So, anyways, there's a lot of schemes: labor trafficking, fraud, insurance schemes, murder, fire insurance schemes, elder abuse, financial schemes and abuse, child abuse tied to, especially that one specific agency, and then the industry in general, that they just really haven't begun to clean up. And it's resulted in the American public and other people just turning away from them altogether and not wanting to watch them. Notably, today Beyonce is supposed to be performing for the NFL, and interestingly, the English government has put out a notice that they will actually fine anyone who watches the show. So that's for the English. That's not here in the US, but it's for the English. But if the English don't want you to watch it, I think that's a good reason not to watch it. And I'm going to note the performance today is very strangely timed. It's on Netflix, so I'll let you know that much. And it's their first NFL game day. That's sad. But I kind of get it. Netflix has been having a lot of problems, so they want to move into sports. Yeah, that makes sense. Something that's kind of stable. Oh, they must have been watching my shows. Yeah. Anyway, so Beyonce performance, Netflix, games. What are the games today? Ooh. Oh no, it's gonna be from Cowboy Carter, the album everybody hates. Yeah. So my understanding is her show today will be between two different games. The first game will be the Kansas City Chiefs, whom I hate, versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. So that's gonna be really nasty. Kansas City Chiefs on the way to the Super Bowl again. They should trying. So because these games, I cut out the lose, but go Steelers today, right? And then the next game is actually going to be, it's the Baltimore Ravens versus somebody else. I'm having problems with mine. Oh, I got acid reflux, people. It's going to be versus the Houston Texans at 4:30. So you'll have the one game set of games first, and you have the Baltimore Ravens versus the Houston Texans afterwards. Really strange timing. I think it's the perfect opportunity for any of you who are feeling sort of nervous about it, because there's very much a cult. There's a cult group around Beyonce. You want to get out of it. The fact that there's literally in between the two games it's a perfect opportunity to just like walk away from the situation entirely. Um, it's enough for me if the English government doesn't want people watching it. They're actually going to fine people $1,000 apparently. Um, Came out this morning to certain nurse services. So let's move along. Interestingly, so I hope all of you saw my little half-hour show. It was almost a half hour of songs today I sang for everyone. It's on my YouTube page at Deborah KC. And I want to announce, so apparently Jeff Bezos is marrying Lauren Sanchez, and they're going to be doing it in Aspen at $600 million, to the tune of $600 million. Wow. I'm not interested in paying for that. I don't think anyone else is either. You never know with some of these people when they announce publicly their weddings, it's like, do they want everyone to like pitch in? Because I'm not interested in paying for their wedding. They have more than enough money to pay for all that. So, and she's appeared in ads for the wedding, or engagement announcements, or wedding announcements. What do you call that? Wedding announcements. And these really big tacky red ballroom style dresses that look like something from 1986 at best. Really eccentric, but you know, go her. She's getting married, so it's her choice. What I would say about it though is that, you know, it's this bright red. It's not really a nod to the pretty girl mantra trend, which I've been a part of. That trend is like a piece of red with mostly a black and white outfit, or black and gray. She's just a full, and it's not like ball gowns. So it looks strange. Yeah, it does. It looks kind of tacky, overly done. But, you know, it's her wedding, so she can do her announcements however she wants, getting married to Jeff Bezos. So congratulations, Lauren Sanchez, on having landed a really talented software engineer and getting married in Aspen. Nobody else wants to pay for your wedding. I hope you have enough money to pay for it. Because it looks like it's going to cost $600 million. It's ridiculous. But I also go back to my episodes where you start to wonder about the business arrangements and possible organized crime around events that are so expensive. Yeah, that's time to go back and visit the Thought Project, just so you know, in case you're wondering what I mean. I had a really strange incident this week. I'm doing like a Playboy page now. It's not that big a deal, but it was actually hacked for pictures this week, so I'm not really happy, and I told the site about it. It was like, hey, Playboy, like this never happens to me with OnlyFans, and it's embarrassing enough to have to do that for extra money, so it would be really nice if you would like actually protect my content and not let somebody just steal it. Like there's some guy in there's like, woo! Totally weird. Merry Christmas, weirdo. It's just so tacky. Like, let's steal content like that. So, I also want to know, and this goes back to the Thought Project, just so you know, this will probably be like my last little segment here. So as part of the so-called like P. Diddy, you know, investigation, TMZ Live, I'm sort of unhappy with. I mean, I don't hate them, but I'm a little unhappy with them. Those are some stuff they've done. Now for those of you who didn't know this, I was actually offered a job in entertainment news years ago and couldn't take it because of the trafficking situation I was stuck in. So I was literally like stuck in DC, couldn't go to work for E. Now I don't think I would have enough money to afford to go out to live in LA to work for entertainment. So, but you know, sometimes you just have to do your YouTube channel and work on OnlyFans and Playboy instead. Whatever. So they did interview with a woman named Tanya Wallace. And I told them if they went ahead and did that I was going to go ahead with and telling people who that actually is. Because that's the woman that's actually went by the name, she's gone by the alias Kendall and Fatina. I called her Karen in Simply Stayed in the Thought Project, you know, in the past. But her real name is Kendall here in the US. And she's actually a pop singer now. She didn't sing, she lip syncs. She was Wilhelm's girlfriend. And it's just kind of ridiculous because, you know, she had told me in advance, like, over a decade ago, like, totally premeditated, that she was going to dress up really skanky and pretend to be a songwriter and like just really, because she works for the Russian government and the military, that she was planning to dress up and look like a, you know, just make the whole thing look ridiculous. And the interview itself does look like she's obviously being ridiculous. I'm not sure if somebody else wants to watch the whole thing. You know, let's see what TMZ is doing right now. I mean, the point is, it's what's called obfuscation, is that she presents herself as this kind of ridiculous idiot so that you don't take it seriously, right? So you don't take it seriously. And it was Harvey Levin who did the interview, but he had told me he was going to go ahead with it. We've had our arguments about things, But in the end, he said that he preferred. I thought of him as being no different than like some Stevie person on, um, the show that Courtney Cox used to be on because it was based on TMZ actually. If I can even find the show, it was a TV show about reporters who were scummy. And scarily, like one of the episodes was actually based on my life, which I didn't even realize. Dirt. He said just play one of the guys on Dirt. But he also told me that he didn't really want a televised interview with me in my situation because he thought I was a legitimate victim and a witness. And what he liked doing was interviewing totally skeevy liars and people that worked for, the KGB, the FSB of Russia, because that's what Tanya Wallace is. And, she's actually Kendall. So she actually has a job as a pop artist and presents herself as basically a white woman and shows and puts out Nazi music. It's really weird. But in bad, like really bad quality stuff. It's horrible. I was forced to work for her for a while and was trafficked into doing at least one or two of her albums, and it's just awful. But the point is that she's not really a musician, and she used the interview to insult Harajuku performers and make fun of little people or midgets, dwarfs, people, we call them little people now, to make fun of child abuse. And this is somebody that I had known in the past to have abused my mom in the ways I described more graphically in other shows, and I want to brush you out today. And, somebody that's just totally, just hacked for the KGB, called the FSB of Russia. So, my point about all this here on Christmas Day in the US is that, we all have to have like an awareness of how much obfuscation is going on with some of these interviews and even what they're after. And so I'm just letting you know what the point of the TMZ wanted to remind me of, I think, because they actually came and visited me this year in Michigan. I was like, you again. So they really didn't like actually interviewing me because I'm not doing an irony because I never really did anything, like I wasn't some weirdo. So as a legitimate witness and a victim. That's kind of all I'm ever going to say about that. I would like to also note for all of you here in this holiday season that I'm going to be taking part in the Stop Soldier Suicide Awareness campaign on Facebook, which involves doing 90 minutes of planks in January. That's my goal. I'm already fundraising a little bit for it, and I'll have the link for the fundraising on my Facebook page. And I've already been starting to practice my planks to get ready for it. And I don't know about documenting with like pictures every day and all that. That's a lot, but I'll put a few nods to it into the YouTube channel, and hopefully you'll check my Facebook page out and can donate. It's not a lot of money to actually donate for it. I'm only trying to raise like $200 for them. But they already notified me this weekend, said that my t-shirts are on the way for the campaign. So you might see some of that too on me in the coming month as well. But for the rest of you, I hope you're having a wonderful holiday season, and stay safe and stay savvy and aware on issues. And that is actually the show for today. I hope some of you can enjoy the little concert I put out. It's my Christmas gift to the holiday season gift, Hanukkah gift, winter solstice gift to the public right now because of some of the drama that's been going on with some of these other so-called not real performers, and just to try to contribute to better mental health in the public and media. So thank you and have a good one. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the feed now.